Most pet owners can't help but wonder what their animals are up to when they're not around. Are they getting themselves into mischief? Simply taking a long nap until their parents return from work? Or are they doing something no one could ever predict? A 12-year-old sheepdog named Louis was known for taking solo adventures around his owner's farmland in New Zealand. He would always make his way back home eventually, but on one particular afternoon, he disappeared for a concerning amount of time. When Louis finally returned, however, his owners realized exactly what he'd been up to the whole time, and they are blown away. It's fun to sometimes think about what our pets are doing when we're not around. Most likely, they're busy taking long naps on the couch and wandering aimlessly around our homes in search of snacks. But what if you found out your pet was up to something incredible? Meet Louis. An adventurous sheepdog, Louis lives on a farm in New Zealand with the parents of his owner, Marilyn Diver. Ever since Louis was a young pup, he loved to take solo journeys around the farmland. He would wander off during the day, but he'd be right back at the front door when dinner time rolled around. Louis is now 12 years old, and his solo treks have become few and far between. One particular afternoon, while Marilyn was visiting her parents, Louis' family decided to head into town to run a few errands. When they returned, Louis was nowhere to be found. What happened to their beloved sheepdog? Hours went by with no sign of Louis. The family walked all around the property calling out to him, hoping he would suddenly appear. Then, as luck would have it, Marilyn spotted him in the distance ambling back toward the home. He looked exhausted. Louis made his way back to the farm and almost immediately collapsed onto the ground. There was dirt caked to his paws and fur. Most curiously, though, was the note tied to his collar. Marilyn was afraid Louis crossed paths with the wrong person, and they wrote a scathing letter about some mischief her dog found himself in. Marilyn detached the note from Louis' collar and began to read. The note said, "Louis is the hero of the day. He led me to Maddie in distress stuck under a branch pile. Cheers, Rob." After reading this, Marilyn and her parents were puzzled. Rob was the name of a farmer who lived about a mile down the road from Marilyn's parents. Her mother immediately called him and asked what happened with Louis earlier that day. The story Rob told Marilyn's mother had the whole family in disbelief. Apparently, Rob's dog, Maddie, went missing that morning, and when Rob returned home from the store in the afternoon, Louis was there on his front porch to greet him. The sheepdog seemed insistent that Rob follow him. Louis anxiously led Rob to his backyard, where he found Maddie trapped under a pile of wood that apparently had toppled onto her. Rob and Louis quickly dug out the frightened dog, who luckily hadn't suffered any injuries. Thanks to Louis, Maddie was safe, and Rob was forever grateful to the heroic sheepdog. Marilyn and her parents stared at Louis in awe. He was a hero. Louis was understandably tired, and Marilyn and her parents were concerned the day's events put too much stress on his 12-year-old body. The next morning, Rob stopped by the farm and brought Maddie along with him, and Louis perked right up. He and Maddie spent a well-deserved afternoon chasing each other all over the property. Marilyn and her parents couldn't have been prouder of their wonderful canine.